A reading from the Gospel according to women who run with Holsteins. Catherine the Great kept a bottle of poison in her wig in case barbarians invaded, but that's not my concern. I am Minnesota River Valley. My creeds come from here, my word choice, my philosophies, my ideas of beauty, my barbaric yawp. If you are the unsure type, are into marketing, or you just like stability, I'll tell you right now, I don't fit into any one box. My limbs are too long. What's more, I have irreconcilable differences. That's what I get for growing up in a tornado belt. I'm from where the weather don't care if you're walking with a prosthetic, what you owe the bank, how many miles you get to the gallon, or if you're turned inside out and hanging with your heart dangling, though attached. I have never met Conan the Barbarian, but I'd love it if he came up and grabbed me from behind. I love my body rising with friskiness and heat. I'll love you frontwards and backwards or in the middle of some equinox storm. I'll love you on top or at the bottom. Come on and grab me from behind. Though mine eyes have seen the glory, I follow my own vision. I believe in blue earth, mystery, gravel roads, baling hay and saints, holy water and sweet corn, love, all love divine, hopping trains, the clarinet polka, Mayday, and killing the fatted calf. I keep a squirt gun full of pesticide in my pocket in case mediocrity arrives. I'm lucky to have been raised with incredibly strong women, and by strong, I don't just mean resilient, independent thinkers who don't take grief from anybody. I mean strong, the kind of women who can carry a tree stump under each arm while walking across the yard and pregnant with the 8th kid, chewing out the feed man for parking his truck in their way. In fact, in the morning I was born, my mom was baling hay. But if I am a poet is because of the men I was raised with, who were also very strong, but unlike the women, they were the storytellers, the tender, empathetic, and kind ones, as I hope you will see in this next poem called The Time My Uncle Took Me Fishing. The idea is to go out on a boat, hold something in your hand, look off into the distance, and talk about life. He's a tall man, a self-made sweet man, with a head bigger than a horse and a voice that sounds like he was born old, born smoking, born drinking scotch, still talking into a rotary phone with fists as big as Russian kettlebells and the kind of pale eyes that blind prophets had in ancient Greece. All afternoon, we catch nothing, which is embarrassing for him. It gets to the point where he buys fish from fishermen in a passing boat, which is humiliating. We are sunburnt, seasick. Beauty is everywhere, he says. Ignore the voices in your head telling you to drive on the wrong side of the road. And remember, the truth doesn't fit on a bumper sticker. I'm a kid. I hang on to his words in a way spouses never do. His voice a smashed foghorn, but a voice that would sing lullabies to someone who is dying, or leaving forever, or growing up too fast. And in the distance, still more distance. Gibbon Ballroom. We went there to dance almost every Saturday night. That's what we did. We had to, I swear. It was written down somewhere like a decree from the Council of Trent. And there were my father's friends with their shiny music bands, Donnie Morris, Johnny Helget, Harold Leffelmacher and the Six Fat Dutchmen, the Wendingers, the Shimoleskis, grinning lederhosen-clad yodelers in Jaeger hats, with their accordions and horns, singing and whooping, hoo, 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 hoo. The polka, the waltz, foxtrot, and the schottisch, and except for the waltzing, which requires elegance, this kind of music was easy to dance to. You just hop, step, twirl, and laugh while in someone's arms. It was for fun. Because while armies clashed in the night, the way armies do clash in the night, the pursuit of ordinary pleasure in such a happy atmosphere lifted morale. Let us forgive each other's trespasses and forget our personal woes. We loved the long and wide stretch of maple flooring. How giddy we felt stepping onto it. How flush our faces were in the happy, low-key glamour in a county not oversupplied with it. But too, the may I have this dance punished shy and unsure men, women too polite to say no, and those who wanted it perfect but waited too long. Someone gutted the ballroom, turned it into a supermarket, which became a bingo parlor that shifted into a sticky, carpeted thrift store until someone gutted that. Now it's used as a storage shed for road graders, skid steers, and snowplows. But while it was the Gibbon Ballroom, with its roaming aromas of hairspray and soap, cologne and smoke, floor polish and beer, where the boys did the same 2 steps to every dance, only slower or faster, there was laughter, so much laughter. And we could be whatever we wanted to be: leaders, loners, lovers, liars, knights and starlets, or villains and spies, like the swivel-eyed aunts and grannies who scrutinized the hum of our breathlessness, as they always did back when we were young. I want to thank everyone for being here on this sultry night. Your presence here means more to me than you can possibly know. It's been an incredible experience being part of the Mentor Series. I want to thank the Jerome Foundation, the National Endowment for the Arts, everyone at the Loft, Sherry Fernandez-Williams, and the Colossal Hearted Mentors, Sherry Kwan Lee, Marisha Chamberlain, Carolyn Holbrook, Christina Henriquez, Joni Tevis, and Sean Hill. And I also want to thank my Mentor Series comrades who, with their grace and insight, have carried me through to this moment here in front of the microphone. So I just have a few more poems left. The next one is called Boiling Up Newspapers to Make Relief Maps Out of Paper Mache. Everything, Freud said, is autobiographical. What we make, what we wreck, why we paint beasts and birds we have never seen, who it is we are drawn to, why we cannot forget. You kissed me at the neck and at the waist. You took my ear in your teeth. Thunderstorms at night make me jump like a nervous horse. Thunder rattles the walls, the stanchions in the barn, cattails in the ditch, reminding me how we carry within us, for all of our lives, the secret presence of others. Sounds we've heard and learned by heart to recall as we stumble down the broken road of memory. Your presence remains within me every day, in all of my rattling, at every border I cross. Letter to an English teacher. Because today the fields are too wet, I take a walk to Eagle Lake and see not an eagle, but a heron standing on a soggy log just off the wooded shore. You would know exactly what kind of heron it is, the Latin gray this or the Latin gray that. But to me, this heron is simply the color of rain heron. And it does not seem to take much interest in me or in what's going on in the water. It is so still that the fishermen walking by do not point it out. The heron is a falconer-looking bird, untidy like a half-folded umbrella. And me, I guess I'm just another Eve who will never get it right. I left his heart, broke my own. And even though I still think the apple was the best thing that ever happened to women, that there is no paradise lost, only paradise turned down, it doesn't mean I don't miss it. I remember all those years ago, sitting in your classroom and looking out the window while you read Thoreau to us in your low, devoted voice. I watched the nuns hang their laundry on the line, those long black stockings lifting in the wind. And even now, when I am no longer that young girl in the fluttering dress, you'd think I'd have learned a thing or two since then, but no. I get too close, as I always do, and the heron takes off, unhurriedly, sailing languidly east, never quite knowing what to do with its legs. So my mom and dad could not be here tonight, but if they were, I would congratulate them on being great, hardworking people and thank them for being good parents. Since Father's Day is coming up, I thought I'd read this one. My dad in Jeanne Lutz. He loves his heart, but the heart, the one we are born with, either works or it goes wrong. Even if a better, stronger heart, a heartier heart is available to trade, he wouldn't want it. Another heart comes with a love of other things, or worse, indifference to what he loves, especially at the farm, where half the reason for living, possibly for all of it, is to love and be loved by my mother, the cows, the vast, uncluttered sky, fields of blooming alfalfa, his concertina, his barn boots, and the train as it muscles and chugs along the tracks, adorned with rust and wonder. So last September, when the 12 of us in this series barely knew each other, we were sitting at Michael's house for supper in the living room, and Sherry Kwan Lee, the mentor, stood up, and she said, "I don't know you, you don't know me, but since we're going to be intimately involved in each other's writing, I think we should all share something that is not in our bio, something secret that will bind us for life." So we did. That night, we learned about someone throwing bricks through windows, someone tearing down furniture and breaking bones to get at candy, someone who took it upon himself to control the pet population in his neighborhood, someone who was flown to the Oval Office just so Ronald Reagan could meet him and have a picture taken with him, and someone who in broad daylight stole a giant houseplant out of a bank and got away with it. So Sherry mentioned this other secret I have that I didn't think would ever be in my bio. But yeah, I'm going to share it tonight, and then I'll go. I don't know why, but one time I lied in confession. It was in 4th grade. I had examined my conscience, memorized my list of misdeeds, and made the sign of the cross. But when I asked Father to bless me, all goodness, wit, and reason fled. Phony sins poured out of my mouth. "Father," I told my little brother to ask Dad for a cigarette and a beer. And "Father, I'm the one who taught the classroom parrot to say, 'Bishop is a bum, Bishop is a bum.'" When the priest muttered his shock through the confessional screen, it only encouraged me. "Father," I said, "I detest all my sins, but most of all, I am heartily sorry for robbing Gornson's candy store with a sawed-off BB gun." That night, the priest died. They found him sitting in a chair in his room in the rectory. "Your sins killed Father Hokehouse," my family teased, but they didn't know I lied. Somehow on the bus and at school, everyone knew. Everyone whispered, "Her sins killed Father Hokehouse." Everyone wanted me on their kickball team. I was glorified, horrified, and mortified. I prayed, I lamented, I asked Mary to intercede, unable to comprehend what it was I'm capable of, wondering what I could or could not control through the power of lying. To this day, I don't know, but maybe we are most alive when we're between prayers, in danger, and not sure at all. Thank you.